pork belly here. This is the pork shoulder. You can tell that by the socket joint there. This is leg of pork. This is the trotter. And those are pork chops. All potentially fit for human consumption.
Yes. What's this here?
That's the health mark.
So what is the health mark? Describe to me, what does it tell you?
The health mark tells you that it's been inspected and there's a tattoo which is done at the farm.
So what kind of information there might be for you?
It's come from the UK. It's a place of origin. It's just, is that just the farm identifier or the slaughterhouse identifier? And the EC mark is
Trading within the community
trading
stuff. And you mentioned this.
yeah.
What's that there?
That's the individual animal tattoo, so it can be traced back to the farm. So for traceability.
Good. One last question on this one.
Yeah.
H2 prescribes some temperature control requirements for abattoirs and major cutting plants.
Yeah.
What's that temperature requirement for red meat?
8 degrees Celsius.
7.
7.
Yeah, 863 is the one from General Food Law.
Yeah.
So try to get that one from my table. For red meat, it's 7. Good. Good comprehensive answer. Excellent. So who's going to have a bash in this one? Okay. Let's get the sample over here first. No. Anybody that's a bit shy, yeah, try and push yourselves forward a little bit today. Go on, go for it, Ken.
I think this one is belly or breast of lamb. That's the shoulder of lamb, and it's got health mark on it. That's a neck steak, and chops, steak or chops, and Valentine's steak. And well, this one just says when and where the animal was slaughtered, and it's got again can be sold in the UK, or it was sold within the UK, and can be sold in EU.
And what's your opinion about fitness for human consumption?
That is for human consumption.
Good, complete, comprehensive answer. Thank you very much. Yeah, we might, if we're ahead of schedule, we might talk about this label a little bit more, so that the scenario that I'd give you then is, if you had a problem with this food tray and you had that label with it, what kind of information could you extract from this? And yeah, you spotted the health mark, so that'll give you a place. And you've got a date, so you've got a time, and a barcode, and a batch identification number. So actually there's quite a lot of information there to start your food investigation, your food complaint investigation. Good stuff.
Yeah, I know that EC, does that mean that we traded and sold in the European community with this?
Go on, who's going to go for that one? Go on!
And these are cuts.
Itching to go.
These are cuts of beef. That's a brisket. That's the bone through over there. That's a sirloin steak. That's a shin cut of beef. And this is a top side of beef with a bit of fat on top of it. I thought that was a label, but I was wrong.
What's your assessment of fitness
It's,
of food?
it's fit for human consumption. There's slight maturity in the brisket, indicated by fermentation.
Yeah, discoloration would be a good word.
Discoloration.
Control decomposition, that'd be another good word. Good. You picked this up. What does that mean to you?
Not sure.
Not sure.
Is that where the cow is under 2.5 years of age?
Very
It's
well.
At the back. The back though.
Turns into a nice
Different colour.
Yeah, if there's any other colour, it was over 2.5, which we have to use that, yeah?
Okay. Yeah, that tells me that the meat that label is attached to is from an animal which is under 2.5 years of age, under 30 months of age. The reason that's important is the backbone, the bovine vertebral column of bovines becomes a specified risk material once it is over 30 months of age. So then might impact things like T-bone steaks and ribs of beef, etc. Good. This one, there's one thing that we haven't had a chat about, But I gather some of you have seen, I think it was Panorama programme during the week. Anybody hear this word called smokies? Anybody know what smokies are? Okay.
Sheep that are charred or something? Sheep that are like actually charred with...
Yeah, that's very good. So I'll build it up for you. It's smokies are not legal. They cannot be produced legally under the regulations in the food law. Okay. What happens then, obviously, is there is a ethnic market for smoked lamb meat, smokies. So they have to be produced legally because they can't be produced illegally because they can't be produced legally. And what happens is they're usually slaughtered on farm, and different to normal processing where lambs are stunned, bled, then the fleece is removed. With smokies, the fleece is left on the meat, but the wool is charred off usually by blowtorch so that it leaves the skin on the sheep, and you get this distinct smoked flavour then to the meat, and obviously traded illegally. It's an Afro-Caribbean delicacy, but illegal at this moment in time. I try to make it legal, but it's going to be a long and slow process. It's deemed that actually it hides various issues because you can't see the meat in its entirety, but this counter-argument to that is this is the same as pork, because pork obviously leaves the skin on, but with pig meat, the skin is usually quite delicate. With sheep, we can hide things like abscesses.
What about ticks on sheep? When they do the smokies, what happens to the ticks?
They get burnt.
And then they eat
From
it?
the blowtorch.
They eat it?
Yeah, but with smokies, you wouldn't be far off a surface like that. You know, it's skin. You know, our skin is not dissimilar to that. Look a little bit different. But rather than removing the skin, what they've done is they've burnt the skin. They don't do that with pigs usually. They scald them, as you know now, and then scrape them. You end up with a surface like that, but a very, very distinct, heavy, smoky smell.
Don't they smoke the heads as well?
Yeah, and feet.
And feet.
Yeah. Yeah, it's part of this Afro-Caribbean delicacy. Smokies, pomos, heads, feet, whole gambit. Okay?
Yep.